But as we are hearing names such as Senator Marco Rubio or Governor Doug Burgum floated by Trump allies, it is Ohio Senator J.D. Vance who appears to have won the backing of the young Trump diehards, at least some of them. This weekend, Vance won the VP straw poll at the Turning Point Action Convention. That's a conservative event aimed at college students. We should note the straw poll is far from a scientific survey and does not represent the larger Republican electorate. CNN's Jeff Zeleny joins us now. Jeff, I want to start with Senator Vance, who was asked this weekend what would make a good running mate for Trump. Here's what he said.
This applies to the vice president. There are a lot of smart, good people that Trump is looking at. But it also applies to our senators. It applies to our congressmen and women, too. We need to have people who are supporting Trump, not trying to stab him in the back. It's very, very simple.
Push for loyalty there. If Trump is looking for a loyal fighter on the ticket and one who says loyalty is incredibly important for everyone else too, J.D. Vance showing that he's capable and willing.
Capable and willing and flexible, because we all remember back in 2016, he was one of those Republicans who was very critical of Donald Trump. But look, so much has changed since then. Yes, he did win the straw poll at that conference over the weekend. He was also the only one of the potential VP candidates to actually speak in person at the event. So perhaps seeing him in the flesh was actually one of the reasons he was supported. But look, he has become one of the biggest defenders of the president. There is no doubt that he is on the short list. We know this because he's been spending significant time with former President Donald Trump. He'll be doing so again on Thursday evening in Cleveland when Trump goes there for a fundraiser. Jake, so much of this, the Veep stakes, if you will, has been sort of playing out right in front of our eyes. These auditions have been happening in real time. The former president will pick one or a couple of them to fly with him, to travel with him, to appear at rallies with him. And he wants the buzz and the conversation to be about all of them as he makes up his own mind. Talking to Trump advisors, they say, look, he is going to make up his own decision. He is not going to get much input from the outside, but it's who he feels comfortable with. But there is no doubt J.D. Vance, at 39 years old, the youngest person on the list, has proven himself as a strong fighter and defender of Trump on television. And we know that that is what the former president likes more than anything, perhaps, his skills on television. He's ambitious, though. The question, is he too ambitious? That will be one of the questions weighed here.
So speaking of people who sounded very different about Trump in 2016 as they do now in 2024, Senator Marco Rubio, Florida. They fought each other for the Republican nomination. Now Rubio is reported to be near the top of Trump's shortlist as well.
He is, and we all remember those fiery debates when the two would stand on stage. And Marco Rubio at the time took great pleasure in making fun of Donald Trump. All that is in the past. I was talking to a Rubio advisor earlier and reminded me that they actually buried the hatchet, if you will, during the Trump administration. President Trump had Senator Rubio and his wife over to the White House for a series of dinners. They made a friendship then, and he worked with him in the administration. There is no one who has been on the record so much against Trump who has completely changed his tune. He is absolutely a strong defender of Donald Trump, and he would also bring several things to the ticket. One challenge, of course, he is a resident of Florida. Trump also a resident of Florida. The Constitution essentially prohibits that. It's not been tested. Would he move someplace else? Would Trump ignore that? We will see. But there's no doubt that Marco Rubio is now in Trump's good graces. Those insults of 2016, ancient history.
Yeah, I do remember when Bush picked Cheney. They were both Texas residents, and Cheney just moved back to his home state of Wyoming. Theoretically, I guess Trump could move to New York just because Marco Rubio doesn't have anywhere to move back to.
I don't think Trump's moving anywhere, though. That's the question. Is Rubio going to move somewhere else? We'll see.
Well, where would he move? Anyway, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum doesn't have the same name recognition as Vance or Rubio, but that also might be part of the appeal for Trump.
Exactly. I mean, one thing he's a wealthy businessman. This is something that Donald Trump likes more than anything. And look at him there. He's central casting in the view of Donald Trump in terms of good looks there. Again, a wealthy businessman. He made his money in Microsoft. He sold his company in North Dakota. A self-made man, without question there. He tried to run for president earlier this cycle. Most people likely don't remember that. that's also good because his insults of Trump are few and far between. He once said he wouldn't do business with him. He corrected that over the weekend. He said, of course he would do business with him. So the Rolodex that Doug Burgum has could be very important to the former president. But Jake, these are only three. If we look at the full list here of people that Donald Trump is considering, it also includes some other names. Tim Scott, for example, the senator from South Carolina. Elise Stefanik, of course, she's in the House. Byron Donalds, also in the House. Ben Carson, of course, a close friend of Donald Trump's, and on from there. So one thing we do know, that 1 month from today, this person, whoever it is likely to give a speech in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention as the vice presidential nominee.
Don't forget Tom Cotton also. Senator
Tom Cotton also, sorry, I did not see him on the list. Yes, senator from Arkansas.
We just had him on State of the Union yesterday.
Exactly, and his wife from Nebraska, of course. So he is also on the list. But 1 month from today, they'll be in Milwaukee.
Nebraska's own Jeff Zeleny. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
appreciate it. Let's bring in our political panel. I'll bring them back to weigh in on this and more. Let's stay with the Veep stakes. So Congressman Byron Donalds was on the graphic there from Florida, and he is not shy about explaining why he would be a good running mate. Here he is on Meet the Press. Take a listen.
It's obviously the toughest job, the biggest job, not just in our politics, but really, frankly, in the world. Look, I think that I would have an ability to step in. I'm actually pretty intelligent. I can sift through issues really, really well. Do I believe in myself? 100% I do.
Well, you are a former Trump administration official, a former Trump White House official. Who do you think would be the best pick? I'm not predicting. I'm not saying tell me who you think Trump will pick. Who do you think would be the best pick?
I think there's several great candidates. You
okay,
know, some
but pick one.
Look, Governor Doug Burgum, unquestionably qualified, unquestionably, whether it's the private sector as governor. Senator Tom Cotton, I think Senator Tim Scott, Senator Marco Rubio. You know, maybe Congressman Byron Donalds, but I'll tell you that Byron Donalds is clearly not shy about it, but has also earned a lot of goodwill with Donald Trump because you got to remember, out of all those candidates, only one of them was actually introducing Ron DeSantis the night that he won re-election as governor. And it was Byron Donalds. He and his wife were close personal friends with Governor DeSantis, yet he became one of the highest profile endorsers and most active surrogates for Donald Trump in that primary process, which built him a lot of goodwill with President Trump and those around him. We'll see if he actually makes the final cut, but I expect I think it's unlikely it's going to be someone from the House. It'll probably be someone who either served in his cabinet or is in the Senate or maybe a governor.
You didn't narrow it down at all.